This is Erika Belvin, and you're listening to Her Digital Empire. Welcome back. This is our newest episode. I wanted to talk about just a few things, especially with the whole climate and everything. I know the second debate just happened, and I know a lot of people had a different opinions of it. And while I don't want to get political, I actually wanted to talk about something that has been brought up a lot because we have a woman who was debating, and that is what is acceptable when it comes to being a strong woman, okay? So my husband is also with me. Say hi.
Well, I am her husband and the producer of this podcast.
Right. So, yes, and just before we get started, just make sure that you subscribe to us, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. It does help us grow, so please do that, and please share with your friends and let them know, that this podcast exists.
Yeah, definitely.
We are definitely in the growing stages. So, with that, though, I did want to talk about women, and something that definitely always has to do with, especially female entrepreneurs. We usually are stronger. And not to say that, timid women or homemakers who aren't entrepreneurs and stuff aren't strong, but there's usually traits that someone would equate to a strong woman, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely link drive.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say all
that's like positive.
Right, I don't want to say like A-type is the only type, but I want to say there's definitely a correlation between having serious drive and having like kind of more of that A-type-ish like driven personality.
That personality, yes. So so that's really what I wanted to talk about today because, being who I am, a lot of people equate this to me being Latina. A lot of people say that, maybe it was I have a really strong dad. He's got a very loud voice and
he's scary.
and I take after him. I think my personality takes after him a lot. And it could be that. It also could be my drive. But I do have a very A-type personality.
Sure.
I've had to learn how to tone it down. And I think and I have not succeeded yet. I think the question though is the problem that women need to tone it down, or is the problem that people are not accepting of strong women, and it's that's the problem in itself.
Okay. And can you, I guess, give an example on what you mean?
Absolutely. I mean, hello. Most recently, right?
Yeah.
The debate.
Yes.
Okay. So, as much as I actually caught myself not being into the way that Kamala was acting. Okay. But you know what's funny about this? You know how what people say, like the things that you hate about other people is actually like you looking in the mirror?
Sure.
I kept thinking to myself, oh my God, she's doing what I would be doing.
100%.
Because I'm a nut job when it comes to, my facial reactions, and what I'm thinking. Like, you knew what she was thinking the whole time. Anytime Mike Pence said something, she was like, huh?
She wore it on her face.
Oh
sure.
My gosh. And it was just, I don't know. And I don't know if, that's something that needs to be accepting. We need to be more accepting of, or if that is actually, even though she is strong, even though she was willing to fight back every time she needed to, which is a strong attribute. Mm-hmm. Was it actually weakness? Because you cannot control your emotions. Is the fact that as as a strong woman, right? They say, for instance, like us Latinas, we are very spicy.
Sure.
we will. They say like, oh, my Latina girlfriend's gonna shank me if I, whatever.
You have never you've never shown an ounce of spice in our entire relationship.
Every meme in the world is like, oh, my Latina woman is gonna kill me. Okay, so there's a reason, Yeah. So, yes, we are spicy. We will fight you. We don't care.
Sure.
So the question though is that actually a weakness? Is that really accurately seen by society as an accurate weakness? Because as strong women who have these types of personalities, this also comes with it. So is this a weakness? Is this something that we need to learn how to control? Or is this actually something that society needs to learn to accept? Because they accept it. Like, you'll hear it from 100 women who say, I'm sitting with men and it's me and 5 other men. And as soon as I'm the one who gets strong, I'm considered the bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually the word that we've talked about before.
Right.
That comes to mind. You brought up a really good point. We watch movies, generally speaking, when we're working.
Yeah.
And shows and stuff like that, and we watch like House of Cards. And Claire Underwood, she, I think, she's fictional.
Yes.
But she's a great example of what I think you're alluding to, where you don't wear it on your face.
Correct.
Right? Where you're maybe plotting secretly.
Exactly. However.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this too, and the thing is that, like I was talking about being Latina, right? We are naturally spicy. They say that about us,
sure,
right?
Sure.
So Claire being a calm white woman, right? That's kind of something that they've always, I don't know, like, to me, like, white women they do the passive aggressive so much better.
Sure.
Than, say, like, somebody who comes from a spicy background, right? Okay. Like me.
Yeah. So
is it that I need to learn to be more like that, or is society wrong in that case, or does it have nothing to do with any of that, and you just need to learn to be emotionally, stable and sound? And is it even emotional unstableness, really?
It's a very loaded question.
Sure.
It's kind of like an onion that needs to be peeled, I suppose. It come to mind, there's obviously a lot of powerful women that you can think that do kind of more of the Claire Underwood approach, and then there's a lot of powerful women that kind of show you what they're thinking based off of the base, that they're making.
And I think the main women that, when we think about Claire and stuff, the woman that the Claire character was really written about, I think, right, is Hillary Clinton, who is like the queen of that.
She's very, very like, you murdered these people, and she just keeps a straight face. She's already plotting your murder.
Yes, yes. No, but what's funny is
she's strong.
It totally. Yeah. She's probably the strongest.
Yeah, she's very strong.
In 92, actually, it's funny. I was watching her. I think it's Netflix.
Hulu. I think.
Oh, is it Hulu?
Yeah, Hulu. Yeah.
It's called Hillary.
I believe so, yeah.
If you want to learn about the Clintons at all, watch that, because I don't know, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I actually, because I am 31, when her husband was in office and stuff, and even before that, they were obviously in politics, and I learned a lot. So she actually, I think, had to learn how to be who she is with the emotional stableness, because in 1992, you can look this up, she had an interview because there was an outburst with her saying on national television, and I quote, "I suppose I could have stayed home and baked cookies and had teas." And every woman, and this was to answer the question of, well, why aren't you with, or why are you, I'm sorry, I think it was like...
Kind of like, why wasn't your husband here, I think it was.
I think so. Something like that.
Something
about why was she with her husband, or what, and that's what the answer was. And for me, I was like, whoa, I had no idea that she was not controlled at one point. And I think it's a learnt skill, right? And the fact that, like, she learned how to be more controlled kind of shows you that maybe that's something that is better than being uncontrolled, right? So when a lot of people will say like, you know, as a woman, you're being strong, or she's too strong, I don't like her. The weird thing is that it comes off for some reason as bitchy and negative.
Sure.
Just like Kamala came across. I remember they were talking about after the debate, they were saying that the undecided voters were actually, all of them saying that Mike Pence won because Kamala looked like...
Which I thought was... I don't think that was... Listen, I think if I didn't know you and like had heard your opinion on strong women and like that sort of thing, like if we're being honest, I probably would have like spent probably like 45 minutes being like, why are you making those faces? What
sure.
You know, just like anybody else. But I think because we've been married for almost 7 years now, I recognized it immediately as, oh man, she's gonna get trashed for this, and that's not necessarily fair.
That was the first thing I thought, was like, Jesus, now this, it was like The Fly, right? Like, nobody should be talking about The Fly. Let's talk about what Mike Pence actually said, please.
Yeah.
But also, too, with Kamala, she was, you know, that was the number one thing that was talked about, was her facial reactions. So that sucks as a woman.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people focus on, you know? But also, too, I mean, she was up against somebody who was just, I mean, you know, cool.
Yeah.
And no facial reactions, calm in every answer, you know, and that's tough as a woman to come up against, you know? I even felt myself, I tried to put myself in her position because, I mean, as a woman, having now to speak in front of the country against a man, that's intimidating as it is, but then you have to be a strong woman. You can't just, you know...
What do you think about the I'm talking?
I do that.
No, I know. I know you.
I do that. That's been one of my biggest...
I know you do that, and I'm saying is...
ways to win an argument.
I'm saying, like I felt... I don't know. Like, I don't... Obviously,
it was condescending.
Yeah, well, it's like, you're in a... What's that? You're in a debate.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying, like...
And it was the smile after. I know. It just sucks because, like, I do that all the time.
But you know what's funny? Because I'm, like, thinking about it now, like, and I know we're, like, live on a podcast, but, like, I'm trying to think of, like, obviously I think that you're definitely more A-type than I am.
Sure.
And I'm much more of, like I've been screamed at before, and I kind of kept more, like, I hate even comparing to a girl, but more like the Claire Underwood, right?
Yes.
Like, where I was just, like, plotting.
Well, that's a typical man's... Because I don't know what it is about men, but they can, like, argue, get in a huge argument, almost, like, get into a fist fight, and then they can have beers right after.
It out.
And I don't understand that, because women, we would be done.
Yeah. There would be, like, a 3-month layoff where nobody talked to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
I think women are just naturally more emotional.
Sure.
So...
Well, that's what I'm wondering if it's a hormonal thing. Okay, listen, I am not accusing anybody or saying that I don't know the science behind it.
Hormones.
But I'm not hormones. But like an alarm,
a natural thing that comes in women.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like there's like an alarm that goes off that maybe doesn't go off in men, and it could be hormones, it could be DNA, it could be anything. I don't really know. Listen, I flunked science, but what I'm saying is like it just seems like if you get yelled at, and I get yelled at. Now you're more A-type. You're gonna you know you see a dollar, you're gonna pick it up faster than I am. But like when you get yelled at or I get yelled at, they're going to get more of a rise like out of you with your facial expression than I think they would me. But I also think that you demand a certain level of respect and regardless of whether you're a guy or a girl, your personality, there's guys like that that demand a certain level of respect. There's guys that say, don't ever talk to me like that again. Like, well, I don't even want to talk politics. There's people in the political atmosphere, powerful people, that would not let so-and-so talk to them a certain way.
Sure.
And for me, I'm kind of like a doormat. I'd be like, oh, okay. Or I'm like, I wouldn't say anything. I'd be thinking about how I was going to, like, you know, slash his tires later on down the road. But, like, I wouldn't say anything, you know?
Sure.
And I'm saying, anyways, I'm wondering if it's guy-girl or if it's just personalities. But then again, like you said, A-type guy compared to A-type girl, you're right, that word, that the bitch is is associated with that, and that is unfair. And I actually don't understand why it's like that.
I don't know. I mean, it's always been like that. And, you know, I know that, like, I know that entertainment is really trying to push a new narrative, which is strong women are, you know, a good thing. I know I was so impressed when I saw Maleficent and they like flipped the story where her true love wasn't the prince, it was actually Maleficent, and like that was like this friendship that they had and stuff. And I don't know, it was like a woman's empowerment thing. And I'm not even really a feminist or anything like that. I just think that I think women, we have to work harder than men.
Sure.
To, you know, get what we want. I think that if it comes to like choosing a woman or a man, men are always gonna get chosen. I think women know that. But you know, some of the best advice I think I ever got, which I didn't really take it because I obviously still like butt heads with men all the time, but was, you know, don't try and be something different than you are. Use the traits that you have to the best of your ability. So, you know, being a female is not a bad thing. Being feminine is not a bad thing. You can use those traits and those abilities to, you know, your I don't know,
benefit.
Yeah, to your benefit, and you can use those efforts and stuff. You don't necessarily have to be this masculine energy, right? And in fact, I mean, it's been proven time and time again that feminine energy actually wins against masculine energy. You know, how many women have used it to, you know, go up and...
Well, it depends on what you call winning.
Well, I don't always necessarily mean like flirting or anything like that, but men love women. That is a natural trait. So like what we're talking about, how women are naturally emotional, and we're saying that's kind of a weakness. Men it's kind of like sex is like a weakness for them. So women naturally exude sexual energy. They're women, right? Men are naturally attracted to that. You can, in a non-sexual way, you can use that energy positively. You can, rather than focusing on trying to be strong and scary, you can focus on being, you know, the best version of yourself and positive. And I think naturally, personally, in my opinion, men kind of then are more drawn to you than against you. And that's always been something I've really struggled with. Because the minute that somebody says something to me that's disrespectful or, you know, whatever, there's like this light switch that goes off in my brain.
Sure.
And I need to check them or whatever. So, you know, I know that a lot of women are like that. I watched Camilla do it like 100 times on the debate. I totally related to that. When I saw that story about Hillary Clinton and snapping on the reporters, I related to that because, you know, it sucks how women have to be kind of like this perfect thing to society.
Yeah. Do you think it's like okay, you work with female entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're incapable of building a business working with men?
Not that I'm incapable. I've just found that men are more competitive with me in business, and it causes more blocks for me. Okay. So, I mean, the thing is like, so like I've been a solopreneur for... Forever? I don't know. Yeah, a long time. I noticed so like when I was in network marketing, without naming names, I definitely, I was in a skincare company, and the masculine energy was like so strong. Like I was kept down. I was kept from, you know, speaking on stage. I was kept from, I was not invited to meetings that I was supposed to be invited to based on my rank. Yeah.
You can start rhyming the names.
I'm okay with that. I don't care. Yeah. I'll give them names. I'll give them nicknames on here.
Bob.
You know, it's funny, and I can only say that the person that was doing that to me had to be threatened by me.
Sure.
And it sucks because it's like, gosh, you know, why weren't you threatened by some other guy? But I don't know, there is something, and it's actually why I was like happy that you were on, but maybe you can't relate to it because I've never heard you even get competitive with women. You like love women, so I guess I would have to talk to somebody who's like super maybe competitive with women.
I used to be competitive. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
No, you are competitive, but I'm saying that you don't get threatened by women. Like a powerful woman wouldn't threaten you.
No.
You know?
No, but I think I like for me, I'm very I think there's like we're starting to kind of dig into this, right? It's a very like type of personality because it might come out different between a guy and a girl, right? Maybe I don't know.
Sure.
But when you're on the receiving end of it, I think it hits different. Mm-hmm. So I think it's not so much the rebuttal, the vocalness, the facial expressions. It's just when it comes to you, it's possibly, and like I said, this could be a DNA thing. I don't know. But it like for me, I am very just a blank canvas. I don't show it. I don't whatever. And now that doesn't mean I'm not thinking of what I'm going to be saying back or what I'm going to be doing in
to I guess like to make it, let me paint you a picture.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Since we were just talking about MLM, we were in the same MLM together. You had
allegedly. Sure.
Yeah. You had maybe some women leaders in your market, right? Mm-hmm. Who I think like one of them was like one of the top 10 or something in the company.
Yeah.
While she wasn't like super A-type or anything at all, she was like the opposite. Mm-hmm. You had that. Did you ever feel a competitive like feeling or nature to that person?
No.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So like I dealt with different things as a woman, like
you did though. Everyone was competitive with you. Why is that?
I don't know.
I think it's because forget A-type. Strong women have this
like a more masculine energy. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know what like if it's. I don't even think masculine necessarily is the fair word for it. Maybe something more neutral sounding, but like it's you definitely. I mean, dude, I could name 6 guys just in that company that were competitive with you and you alone.
Yes.
And it's because
definitely wasn't in my head.
Right.
This is just something that I know. Like I brought this one up. I've been dealing with this my entire life, by the way.
Yeah.
I just brought this up because Jesse, is aware. He witnessed it. That's why I thought I could talk about it. But yes, I was in a company, for a few years. That's how I met my husband.
And there were multiple girls in that company wired like you.
There were many strong women in this company. It was a skincare company. Now the men were the ones who were dominating the sales because men are just naturally, very good with sales. But there were some strong women. And while we had strong women speaking, they were not everybody was being pushed down. Myself, for some reason, had many people who were definitely, I don't know, it was a very weird competitive nature. And I wonder if it's because I'm so A-type, mm-hmm. And maybe it is an emotional thing that I think maybe Hillary figured out, right?
Yeah, and as far as this episode, obviously it's always fun to do something a little bit off the cuff, but we were also thinking like how many people, how many girls, how many entrepreneurs out there listening to your podcast probably deal with something similar. They're trying to get their business started. They're trying to get going, and it's like maybe you're a strong personality. Maybe you're a strong. I hate saying A-type, but maybe you're an A-type personality, and
you've already felt some pushback.
You struggle with the
What is so when it comes down to it, what is the answer? What is it? Do you need to start meshing into society and tone yourself down, or do you need to push back and stand up for yourself? And I believe my personal opinion is it's a little mix of both.
I was going to say the same thing. Okay, go ahead.
So my opinion, which I'm working on, I cannot say I've mastered this, but my opinion is it's a case-by-case basis on what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So as a negotiator, in every situation when it comes to business, you're negotiating. Even when it comes to a sale, you're negotiating. You are, putting your energy out there, and that person is going to decide if they're going to make a sale with you or not. You're dealing with the customer service. They decide if they like you or not. It's your job to be able to mesh and really be fluid and know when to pull back and when to control yourself. You don't always have to be timid. You can be strong when you need to be strong. I have had to several times be strong, and then I get listened to, or somebody, goes my way. I've also lost in the same time where I've been too strong and the person hated me and wanted nothing to do with me.
Sure.
And then also too, as a woman, I think that we have this gift where, because we're women, even the strongness doesn't, we try and go over and above, and we try and meet a man where we're at or where they're at. We don't have to do that. We can still be strong and still kind of like in a feminine way without freaking out, right? And then becoming emotional. So we have this gift where we can be soft and we can be, even with, more even to what the man thinks is even, right? And respectful and still get our way, right?
Yeah, and I think strategic is the word that comes to mind.
That's exactly what it is.
Being strategic, like there's times where you should be like, hey, F star you, and then there's times where it might be beneficial to just keep cool, calm, and collected, and be really like a what was that called? Chameleon, right? Be like a chameleon.
Right.
Really,
fluid.
Really figure out who you're dealing with, what you're dealing with, and I think that's sales. I think that's life. I think that's just, there's so much that goes into that. But I think that if you're out there and you're feeling a little bit like not picked on, but there's, like you said, pushback because you're too strong, or people think that you're too strong. Then maybe this will help you out.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely strong women out there who are doing amazingly. There are women out there who I believe are too emotional, but they are still winning.
Who did you say was it was like Forbes? Who did you say was like the number 3?
Oh, Nancy
Pelosi?
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi was number 3, which I disagreed with.
Right.
They had all the way down, it was like 80 or something was Rihanna, and I was thinking to myself, man, I respect Rihanna more than I respect Nancy Pelosi.
I think they probably mean, because I think if I'm not I probably failed political science too, but I believe if president and vice president both drop dead, she's the president.
Sure, but with what we were just talking about, I think that she loves to look very emotional. She's very, that's her, like smelling like vodka and being very emotional. Listen, I love, when I think about like who I could really like try and be like, it would be Hillary, because that woman is just cool, calm, and collected. She could go last minute on a talk show or whatever, and they'll throw just crazy things at her, and she's got it. She's good.
Oh, when oh gosh, what's that guy's name that does the radio station that he's been like a legend for years? He's
not Bill Maher.
Not Bill Maher, but he just got
Stephen Colbert?
No, this guy just got upped he's on Sirius XM. He's like the biggest of all time.
Joe Rogan?
No. Anyways, I forget his name, but he asked her about the lesbian rumors.
Oh, yes.
And this is what I'm talking about, like why I have such respect for her personality is because she was just like so like not rattled.
Sure.
And I think that's kind of what, like, I was like, wow, what a
not offended,
Right, what a like not an appropriate setting, I guess, I guess maybe that's the theme of the show, right, is to kind of like rattle cages or whatever, but man, she just looks like she cannot be flustered. And
I've read stuff like I'm obsessed with Cora. I've read like behind the scenes she's terrifying and she's mean and stuff. But it's crazy that like she can control her emotions so well. That's something that, like I said, for me, I struggle with because if I'm pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Howard Stern, that's what I was thinking.
Howard Stern,
Sorry.
yes.
Anyways.
And so, again, that's just something that it's crazy that they consider that weakness, but I guess controlling your emotions, period, that is the root of it all, is just being able to do that, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's something that as a woman, as a strong woman, definitely as an A-type, I am working on myself. I would prefer to control my emotions than have my emotions uncontrolled. I still obviously love being considered strong. Yeah. I would never let somebody run over me. But I also don't want somebody to be able to just, be able to throw something at me and know that I'm going to explode.
Right.
Because that's also a weakness, kind of. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you don't want somebody to just be able to control you because they know that you can just get angry fast. So, that's definitely, I think, kind of like the sum up of that. But at the end of the day, I think being a strong woman is better than not being a strong woman. you know, we are all working on ourselves, and nobody is.
Because you can always pull back if you're not naturally wired to be strong.
Yes,
it's hard to fake that.
Yes,
you know, but you can always bite your tongue. I feel like and count to 10 and say, all right, let's chill.
Take anger management. Yes,
right. Just chill a little bit. And by the way, neither of them are easy. I'm just saying, like, if you're like very weak, very like, you know, not confrontational. Even for myself, I'm not very confrontational at all. It is hard for me to get myself to that.
You're like the opposite.
Right.
You let people give you the sauce amounts that they want to give you in drive-thrus.
So our biggest arguments ever are, we're getting off topic, but I'm still gonna say it. Our biggest arguments ever have been from me not getting enough sauce.
Because here's the thing. Here's my opinion. The person that's working in the drive-thru is doing a job, okay? That person, it doesn't take that much to say, hey, listen, can I just have like 3 more sauces? Like, you know, because you're going to enjoy that meal. You paid for that meal. You're going to enjoy that meal. It's that person's job. If you just accept whatever they give you, you know, that's on you. And now you're the one who's not going to enjoy the meal that you just paid for because you were worried about what the other person is thinking.
And really, I mean, as we're sitting here, they're not thinking anything. They're just giving you, because it doesn't come out of their check. It's like I just don't like asking. I don't know what it is. It's like it's this weird.
You're just fine with whatever people give you.
And
anyways,
the very first time, I know this is like spiraling, but the very first time it happened, it was over ketchup, and I want to say it was like, I don't remember the place it was called, but I literally looked at you and I was like thinking like, she's joking, obviously, right? Like she's joking, and I was like, oh my gosh, you are not joking. No. You are upset that I did not get you sauce.
You gave. I had like 2 McChickens with like 1 ranch or something ridiculous like that. Like that can't happen. Yeah. There needs to be more ranch.
And then I was like, hey, well, we got ranch at home. It's not the same.
It's not the same. You have McDonald's ranch. You have like the salad ranch you get at the store. You have Chick-fil-A ranch. You have, you know.
Yeah, true.
All the ranches. The ranch that you get from Ralph's or the grocery store. You know,
but you realize that you love me anyways, and all is forgiven
as long as you change.
True.
But yeah, so I know it's kind of like all over the place. It's a loaded topic, you know, and especially kind of like being not a victim, but being a strong woman myself, you know, it's hard to talk about it because I want to say, screw everybody else, you know, I'm the one who's right, and everybody should just like me because that's who I am.
Right.
However, you know, if it's really about, if at the end of the day, the goal is to succeed, sometimes you need to adjust yourself to be able to reach those next levels. And if that includes toning it down a little bit, so that the person likes you more, so that they sign the contract or whatever, you know, it's worth it because you got paid, right? That's the goal. So I guess that was my whole, I mean, honestly, it's a loaded thing. Yeah, it's a loaded topic. Yeah. What do you want? So people could argue all day on this stuff. Yeah. But yeah. All right. Well, great. So definitely tune into our next episode. If you have not yet, please subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. Please share it with your friends, and we will see you on the next one.